I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even blink. The numbers on my banking app did all the screaming for me. $25,000 drained like a slow bleed. My own parents standing there, watching me piece it together in real time. Dad with his arms crossed, as if I owed him an explanation. Mom smirking like she'd been waiting for this moment. "You're overreacting," she said. Dad added, "The family needed it more than you." Needed. Funny word. Heavy when dropped on someone you thought loved you. I told them only one thing before walking out. Then don't ever call me again. Their faces flickered, confusion first, then irritation, then something close to fear when they realized I wasn't bluffing. But I didn't turn back, not once. Back then, there was a time I would have handed them the money myself. Birthdays weren't celebrations, they were obligations disguised as gatherings. I grew up thinking loyalty meant obedience, that love required sacrifice, that silence kept the peace. They trained me to care more about their comfort than my own survival. I didn't notice the shift until the day I bought my first house. They said they were proud of me, but I saw it, the quick exchange of glances, the calculation, the realization that I had something they didn't. That was the first crack. The second came when Mom borrowed my card to pick up groceries and somehow returned with new jewelry, a spa package, and a story that didn't bother pretending to make sense. The third was the missing $25,000. The discovery. It started as a routine morning. Coffee, inbox, bank alerts. Then a red notification, suspicious activity. Except it wasn't suspicious, not to me. Payments I never approved. Transfers routed through their joint account. The kind of theft committed by people who assume you'll roll over because blood makes you stupid. That was the moment something inside me stilled. A quiet, focused stillness. No panic, no heartbreak, just clarity. Shift in mindset. They expected me to argue, to storm around, to plead. But revenge isn't loud. It's patient. I spent the afternoon reviewing paperwork. The mortgage, under my name because their credit was garbage. Dad's truck, my loan because he wanted a newer model to feel young again. Mom's personal loan, co-signed by me after she swore she wouldn't misuse it. Promises, lies, debts. They thought everything tied to me was actually tied to them. A family tree whose roots they believed they owned. But the thing about roots, they can be cut. Execution. That night I made tea, sat at my kitchen counter, opened my laptop. One login at a time, everything shifted. First, the mortgage, suspended for non-payment. Their non-payment. Then the truck loan, canceled due to breach of contract conditions they didn't even know existed. Last was the loan Mom swore she'd pay back. I removed myself as guarantor. Overnight, the entire balance transferred to her. Every click was a quiet reclaiming of power they'd siphoned from me for years. By midnight, the financial floor beneath them wasn't shaking, it was gone. Climax. I didn't plan to see them again, but fate has a habit of enjoying a good finale. They showed up the next morning, banging on my door, faces twisted with panic. "What did you do?" Dad barked. Mom's voice was shriller. "They're saying we owe thousands. Fix it." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me, blocking the life I'd built, the one they never respected. "I didn't do anything," I said. "I just stopped carrying you." They froze. It hit them slowly, like cold water spreading under skin. The reality that the safety net they took for granted had never been theirs. It had always been me. Dad tried to yell again, but the power in his voice had evaporated. Mom's bravado cracked, her eyes darting, calculating losses she couldn't manipulate her way out of. "You can't do this to your family," she whispered. "You already did," I said. "I just returned it." They left with their rage, their fear, their consequences. I watched them drive off in the truck that was no longer theirs, go home to a house that was no longer secure, carrying debt they could no longer bury under my name. No satisfaction came immediately, just a steady exhale, an unclenching, a release of years I didn't realize I'd been carrying. But later, hours later, relief settled in, warm, quiet, earned. I lost $25,000, but I gained something better, myself, and I will never let them spend that again.